they had like, it was like a bus, right? And then, had all the freshmen going, and they were like, how much is it? And they were like, it's $1. I'm like, a single dollar? Like $1 to get in the club? I'm like, if you can't afford to get in the club here, like, life is over for you. Like, this is rough. It's $1? Like, because in New York, the minimum to get in the club was like $5, $10.
Right.
And even $5 was like a low. And then some clubs was $3. Like, I could not understand it. I was totally confused. I'm like, a single dollar, like $1? I'm like, yo, it's crazy cheap. You could go to the club all week long. And then being 17, I had never actually been in any clubs. I had been in one club, like, ever. So I was like, yo, it's only $1? Like, I'm about to live in the club in Atlanta.
Shout out to my man, Dollars and Cents, an X-Squad affiliate who's there also. And then Kyle, I think that's my son, is up in here. What's up, Kyle? Now, there is a part of your life, like I said, after somewhere upon us graduating, or maybe even before we graduated, somehow your circle kind of meshed with a circle that I know. You know what I'm saying? This was because Atlanta was budding as a rap town. This was before any of this stuff happened now, but basically a lot of stuff was going on here as far as hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You had Jermaine doing what he's doing, you had Dallas doing what he was doing, and then you had Keith Sweat with his club, Bobby Brown with Boss Studios. You know what I'm saying? You had all that type of stuff going on. And I left somebody out very important that I'm missing. Who the hell I'm missing here? Another key player, but I can't think of who it is. But anyway, of course, LaFace. I'm sorry, but you had all that stuff going on at the same time, and I understand that you had a little bit of hip hop going on with you. You know what I'm saying? You actually had an almost rap career.
Yeah, I would say it almost. I mean, like in what was it, 91, I started hanging out with Herbie Lovebug, and while I was hanging with him, one of his
Salt and Pepper fame, the producer.
And one of his friends was also a manager, and I was rapping like in the car. I was just like freestyling off of something. No real intentions on doing anything. I was just doing it because there was a beat and we were in the car. We were bored while we waited for him to come outside. And he was like, yo, you rap? I was like, nah, not really. Like, I'm just, playing around. He's like, no, you got a good look. Like, if you rap, like, that would be good. He's like, for real? He's like, yo, you need to let me manage you. And I'm like, are you serious? And so Herbie gets in the car and he's talking about it and he's like, oh, word, she raps or whatever. But he was getting ready to go back to New York the next day.
Right.
Next thing I know, I'm like in the studio, I'm writing rhymes, I'm freestyling, I'm winning freestyle battles of V103. I can't remember the name of the radio host that was on at the time. I want to say it was like Smooth Rick or Ricky somebody. It was some light-skinned dude
Rick
with like
Marty.
this. Yeah, that's it. It was Rick Hardy. Yeah, he had like a freestyle battle thing at it wasn't the Mug. I want to say it's the Phoenix. I think it was the Phoenix.
Okay.
And it was nothing but dudes. And that's around the time when, of course, it was Lil' Kim versus Foxy Brown, and they were all about, like, they definitely had skills, but they were all about sex. And that wasn't really my style. I had baggy jeans with combat boots, but I would have a cut-off shirt on, that's like boost up my femininity or whatever. But when I came out, like, I actually could freestyle. And so they had a freestyle battle, and it was nothing but dudes at the freestyle battle, and it was crazy packed.
Okay.
So when they had people going up to battle, I was in line, and because I was the only female, they were like, oh, okay, we let her go up. But what they kept doing was, like, some people you could tell they wrote their rhymes, so they kept saying, like, free yourself, free yourself. They was yelling free yourself to people who they could tell was not really freestyling and booing them off the stage. So I noticed a couple of dudes who were really ripping people new ones. So before I got up on stage, I just kind of studied them a little bit and was kind of like making sure I had some zingers in my head to like add on.
Yeah.
And once I started zinging those dudes, the crowd was on my side like, what? like, not a female, you know.
Wow.
And I don't remember what I said about dudes, but I know I was talking about, like, they mamas and whatever else I was talking about. And ended up winning. You know, my little $103, you know,
wow.
for that. And then from connections with Herbie and stuff, we started going to a lot of parties with Puffy and all of those people there. And before I knew it, Tommy Boy Records wanted to sign a deal with me.
Oh.
But my manager, I did not realize, had some type of crush on me. I never even seen him that way, like, whatsoever. This is after, like, a couple of years, you know, of us, you know, working together and everything.
Right.
And so when it came time to sign the deal, he wanted to try to express his feelings of love or whatever, like, shortly before we're supposed to go to the meeting the next day. And I'm like, no, like, well, that's not how I see you. You know, we're cool. Well, he gets pissed and he don't show up at the meeting. And that's around the time with the TLC thing going on with Pebbles.
Yeah.
So I was afraid to sign anything without an attorney or somebody to tell me something, because I'm like 19 years old. You know what I mean? I don't know anything about contracts or any of that. That's what my manager was there for.
Right.
But he didn't show up to the meeting.
Dang.
So I was like, I ended up not, you know, really doing anything. And they were like, well, come back to the table, you know, when you have somebody to represent you, because we would like to, you know, see if we can maybe work together. But I didn't find nobody. I didn't even know how to look for anybody back then. It wasn't no Google or nothing.
Right.
So I didn't even know how to find anybody, and I didn't ask Herbie any questions about it.
What?
I was like, oh, but, you know, everything works out how it's supposed to be. I did some rapping. I did some acting for a little while. I was in a few low budget movies and stuff like that, but, you know.
Well, guess what? All is not lost. Guess what? Kiy also is an author. So this is how this all shaped now. So Kiy has a couple books out right now. And that's what we're leading to. She has 3 books out right now, and I read one of them, and it was awesome. It was a great piece here. But I'll let you go ahead and describe a little bit of it in a short, you know what I'm saying, a brief summary about your books. And
I would say they're deadly romantic suspense. So basically, if you like to read about dysfunctional families, dysfunctional relationships that turn ugly, where, you know, they can become dangerous situations where some people survive and some people don't, then these, you know, my genre is good for you. You know, I write them about African Americans. I don't classify them as urban fiction because they're in regular households and regular life situations. You know, some people may have extravagant lifestyles. Some people may just be average, everyday people. I don't really particularly write about street lit or drug dealing and stuff like that, although there may be a deal or two in it, because that's not actually a lifestyle that I'm familiar about. So I don't like to write in depth about things that I can't make seem realistic. Now, granted, I've never killed anyone. However, I think I can write about that realistically. Because my imagination goes far, but things that require a lot of knowledge, and, you know, I don't want to talk about drug deals and who did what when I'm not really familiar with that. But yeah, they've done real good. Behind Closed Doors was my first one.
The thing about it is those real life situations in there, man. It's like these people, everybody got these type of people in their family. Yeah,
and that's one of the things that I really enjoy about the feedback that I got from a lot of readers. Like, some people were like, "Do you know these people?" And I'm like, "No, but I'm glad that it comes across realistically enough for you to think that I might." You know what I mean? I might actually know these people. So they've done well, because Behind Closed Doors, the sequel to that was Liar's Ball. And the one that's out now, or my latest one, is When I'm Bad, I'm Better, which is about, you know, 4 cousins and some sins of their past coming back, you know, to haunt them, and they trying to keep those secrets buried before, you know, it buries them. And I'm trying to finish up a new book. Hopefully it will be out by the end of this month or early September, called What I Do for Love. And that's basically about a wife who finds out that her husband cheated on her, and so she kills him and frames the side chick.
Wow. That's that's some dramatic stuff right there.
Yeah, I try to make them interesting. I try not to make them cliche. But what I do strive to do is make them seem realistic. So I don't make them do a lot of crazy stuff without, some background. Like I really research what I'm going to have my people do. Like if I'm going to have somebody commit a murder, if it's supposed to be a planned out murder, please believe it'll be a thorough plan, to the point where my husband is like, get off the ID network. Like, you're always looking at the ID network. What are you doing? I'm like, I swear it's for my book. I swear.
Well, and you know what? Your imagination, what's the word? Your expression and your circle. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you're a great personality to know.
You.
But when you look at if people that follow you on Facebook, every day you have a topic, an engaging question. It's the craziest question. I ain't gonna lie, but it gets people stirred up. Just from the craziness. You know what I'm saying? And I can't think of an example. Maybe you can give me an example of one. Because I
don't know. I have a crazy circle of friends, and then I watch a lot of things. Like I have an eclectic interest. So like I listen to Caucasian radio stations sometimes. I watch a lot of crazy stuff on TV. And then my mind just makes me think of, crazy stuff sometimes. Or I'm just like,
Right. And you get a lot of feedback. There's a lot of people commenting on, the question of the day or whatever that you write up there. They're like, wait.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, though. I'm glad that people are at least interested enough to even, comment or whatever. And then a lot of times, I'm just posting silly stuff just to get under people's skin just for the hell of it, you know.
Right.
I just feel away, and I'm like, let me post something aggravating, or something crazy. Like, strange news is funny to me. Things that, like, where somebody smuggled a gun in their anus. I'm like, how did you get that up there? Like, that's a lot of work to fit an entire 357 up your behind. Like, you can't make me think that you don't use that butthole for other things. I just don't believe that's the first time you shoved a whole gun up there.
Exactly. It can't be. You know what I mean? You got a whole storage pouch. Seriously.
You got to be exercising or something. They've showed X-rays of crazy things that people do, and I'm just like, what? Like, how did you? People are really crazy. Like, in general, I looked up the word cheesing one day because I like to post memes about whatever stuff. So I was trying to find, was somebody smiling really big, right?
Right.
So I put cheesing in Google, and it kept showing people sniffing a cat's butt. That's what it looked like to me. So I was like, what the hell? Why is it showing me these pictures? So I Googled it. How about cheesing is people who like to sniff cat urine?
Oh,
like, what? God. Wait.
It's some very weird, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the stuff they got stuff that they like for getting their rocks off?
Fetish?
Stuff. Yeah, fetish. There's a lot of weird fetishes out there. I am not going to lie.
Yeah.
But anytime you tell somebody to pee on you, it's like, really?
How do you even come up with sniffing a cat butt, cat urine, as a hobby? Like, who does, what? Like, people come up with all types of crazy stuff where I'm just like, really? Or like, okay, how about this? Do you know what a meat curtain is?
No, what is a meat curtain?
I found out that a meat curtain is the name for a old-looking vagina, that looks like roast beef or something, and they call it a meat curtain. It's like the new slang for it.
The meat curtain. Oh my God.
Listen, Google is crazy.
Wow. Somebody in the chat easy just said Google lemon party. It's not safe for work though.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm at home, so I'm about to Google it right now as you said that. Lemon party. Let's see. Lemon party.
Damn. I'm curious.
Urban Dictionary, one of the unholy trinity of internet pictures. Which, what?